What is up guys, Sharpwind here, and today's video was both suggested and voted by the people on my Discord server. Join now to suggest your ideas and have me make tutorials that you guys need. And the idea voted for today was transformation. Now there is a lot of ways you can make a transformation effect. You can have like an energy burst transformation, or have it quick and unnoticed, or slow and long, where you could just have like random body parts start sticking out and all look like Thriller-like, I don't know. In this video I'm gonna try to cover multiple ways of you actually making a transformation effect. So if you haven't already, I recommend you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell, because I got a lot of tutorials as well as downloadable rigs just for you. Also, show me some love on social media and like the video if you do. And with that on the side, let's start the transformation thing. I can't talk today. So the person who suggested the transformation thing wanted me to have like Steve turn into an iron golem. So why not do his idea and I'll make others along the way as I go. That seems fair. First we need to add some scenery, because flatlands look ugly, and heck, why not just go with mountains again? My favorite schematic. So the first method I mentioned is the energy blast one, and this one is probably the easiest one of all. So let's start with this one. Here we have our Steve, which is going to turn into an iron golem. There, I've relaxed his stance a bit so it looks more natural. There we go, that's what I wanted. Now this dude needs to turn into an iron golem. Let's pick a color. Eeny, meeny, miny, red. First let's add the iron golem in here. Woo, you're a big boy, aren't you? I've relaxed his stance too, and let's position him inside the Steve. Now for now, I'm going to make my iron golem invisible. Now we're going to abuse some new features of 1.2.0 in this video. Here's where I want you to add a particle effect. Call it transform, because this is going to be our transform particle. Let's make him spawn a bunch of particles here. Place him at Steve's feet. So let's mess with the color. There's an option here that says mix color gradually. So it's gradually going to turn into dark blue. No wait, we said red, into a bright red color. And this time is going to be less than a second. So they summon white, but they slowly turn red. And I think I'm liking this so far. So if I try to go with the transform, go to graphics, hit glow, only render glow. Now if I press this, like, this is what I tried to achieve. So this looks like some energy aura thing, but I'm still not happy with it. Maybe increase the particle rates again. So 10,000. I mean, I guess. So it's a bit faster, but still looks okay. Alright, let's add a camera. And the particle should not be spawning particles yet. So the first frame, turn off spawn particles. It's going to start summoning particles at, like, let's say 8 ticks in the timeline, start spawning them. It's going to be transforming like till this frame, 35. I just played it in my head. And at this point, it's going to go completely bonkers, like completely white, like an energy blast, and then the iron golem is going to appear. This is what we're gonna do right here. So let's put the camera in a folder, called the folder camera. By now you probably know that I love folders because I use them in all of my videos. Now, the folder is way down there and the camera's right here. We don't want that, so copy the position of the camera and now put it to 0. And now make a frame for the folder and just paste the previously copied position. So now the folder is in here and the camera is at exactly the same place. The energy blast is going to work by abusing the bloom feature in mine-imator. So you know what bloom does? Bloom basically makes everything shiny and glowy. The energy blast, the shockwave thing, the burst, is going to work by blooms. If you just crank the bloom up, everything's gonna go white, so that's what we want to do here. So let's give this frame where it transforms some bloom, and this bloom is going to have a threshold of 0 and the intensity up, the radius probably up. Do it like so, like this, but it just like appears here because we need to add bloom in the first frame here, so it's gradually going to be going upwards, which is not exactly what we want. Transition is in exponential. This is like a very strong transition for an ease in. So if it goes like this, okay, maybe a bit too strong. Let's go for ease in quint. Yeah, sure. And here is where it's just going to go back down to regular settings. Maybe the threshold should be raised up just a bit. This one should have an ease out, so for it to calm down, so it's like this. Now, if I wanted to animate the camera shake now, I couldn't because of this transition, and it would look very bonkers. So let's animate the folder instead. This is why I added it. So I can have a transition on the camera and the camera effects, but not on the folder itself. Also, I know that this little transition here, I should probably add the bloom in the first frame, so it doesn't suddenly just go like. So at this point where it's the brightest, just make it stop spawning particles, so it basically looks like this now. Now let's add some camera shake to the folder. So what we made right now looks like this. Maybe the shake is too much, like it's too strong. I should take more time to make it smooth, but I don't have much time right now in this tutorial. I also recommend you to like move the Steve, make him... You know what I mean, I just don't know how to explain. Make him feel sick about it. And at this point, you would basically just make Steve invisible and make Iron Golem visible. Let's see this. Okay, yeah, this is one way to do it, and there isn't a distinct point of impact where it actually looks like what you did. This is the energy blast. You could add more textures to it if you want to. Let me add that. Adding a simple shockwave, it looks like this now. It's not too noticeable, right? Well, yeah, it's a small texture. If you feel like that this point isn't bright enough, and the transition is too distinct, there is a way around this still. Add a white surface, use it to cover the camera, put the render depth to 1 so it doesn't glitch, and just make the alpha come up. It should quickly become invisible, so let's add a very strong transition to this. So it's like this. I would say this is the first method. So for the second method, I've made a small animation test. Steve slams into the ground, and that's basically it. I want to make Steve turn into a skeleton, so what I can do is add a skeleton and unfold them both. As you see, I've put Steve in a folder and called it Steve so I can animate smoother motion. I need to do the same with my skeleton, so let's put this skeleton in a folder, call it skeleton again. And now what I can do, which is very, very useful, is select all of the Steve keyframes except the folder ones and click this icon, export selected keyframes. Call it move or something. Now select the skeleton, not the folder but the skeleton. Click this icon to import an asset. Now browse for the move files, and the skeleton will inherit Steve's moves. As you see him down there, he's doing the exact same thing, but Steve is positioned in a folder which has all of those movements applied. So let's select only the folder, copy it, and now select the skeleton folder and paste it. He's doing the exact same thing. The reason I had to do it separately is because, well, if I select Steve and the folder together, there's no way for you to export the frames because the folder is not a part of the character. At this point, I want Steve to become invisible. Just make the folder invisible and make all of the keyframes for the folder from then on invisible. And the skeleton, well, do just the opposite. The first ones should be invisible, so now you get this. He turned into a skeleton. If you combine that with some camera effects like a sudden to the camera or maybe some particles or shockwaves or something, this would look epic, my friend. Okay, now this one is very risky and I'm not sure if it's gonna work. So I've animated Steve doing a flip. As you see, this part is just regularly animated like it would be, but for the flip part, I use a technique I explained in an old tutorial. Basically, this is the folder. The folder is basically just going up and down, and its motion is ease. So ease out, ease in. The custom rotation point of the character is 12, so it's from the center, and I simply use the character to rotate. Look at the X value. So basically, the character serves for a rotation, and this folder serves for the up and down motion, which is also eased, by the way. The rest of the body is stationary till the point he jumps, and I've also locked a tiny spider inside of Steve, and we're going to try to transform him while he's flipping. It's a very daring and risky move, but I'm not sure if it's gonna work yet, so let's try it out. Till this point, the spider is very small, so till here, the legs should already start poking out. So let's keyframe for the legs. Thank you to the new shortcuts, I love them. Okay, so the spider, I think, should scale up at least to this point. The legs, though, could use some position. Legs start poking out like so, one after the other. And at this point, this arm should be at least positioned to match these arms. So let's try to scale it down. Resize, not stretch. Put it like so, and once it's here, I could just make this arm invisible. So it's basically like just going down and it turns into the spider leg. Don't worry, it looks funny when you play it slowly, but if you play it like this, like, it looks normal if you consider transformation normal. So let's do the same here. Okay, so the arms are hiding now. So they just go in and they just turn into this. This actually doesn't look bad at all. It looks weird, I know, but it doesn't look that bad. Now let's do the same with legs. The legs should be closer because these legs appear faster, so we gotta hide the obvious here. That's it. Make it invisible. If I play this now, okay, maybe it all happens too fast, but hey, let's put this out a bit so it doesn't look too fast. So let's make his head go down, like the same position as it was before. And let's add some easing back so it looks more direct. So at this point, the spider should already be scaled up by 1. And the spider head is right where it should be. So this head of Steve should also disappear. I'm still testing things out, so let's... He transformed into a spider. Okay, also I'm noticing something. The spider is scaled upwards, but the legs have been moved. So let's make another keyframe for all the legs. Oh my god, I love this shortcut. Put all the position back to 0, all of the rotation back to 0. So now this spider should be a regular spider by the time this happens. And since the head isn't visible here anymore, scale the body down and make it invisible so it won't disturb anything. So mid-flight he turns into a spider, and it doesn't look too weird. I mean, it does look weird because it happened, but the transformation almost looks perfect. Now try to add some particles as well to hide all of this. Like, you can make a transformation on various ways. You simply need to hide the obvious. Make a fast move and turn it while it's moving. No one's gonna notice. Like the previous method with the skeleton, just make a fast move and it's not as obvious, no one can see it. Or do the flash to hide it. Or you can make like a long and slow transformation. Like, let's say your character is slowly turning into a spider. The first time you show him, he's okay. Then you do something else. The next time you show him, add him some fangs or deform, like make him look infected or something. Then do something else again. The next time you show him, change the skin a bit more to make him seem like he's turning into a spider. Maybe deform his body, add some tiny legs poking out. Just, you can go for long and slow. You don't have to show the transformation on camera. If you're going to show the transformation, it needs to be fast. If you don't want to show it, you can go for long and slow. Just slowly turn his skin. There's literally so much that could be done here. This is it for me for the transformation effect. I hope you've learned a thing or two, and I hope I've met your expectations. Suggest your tutorials in the comments or join my Discord server and vote for them. You get to decide what I do. So thank you for watching and stay sharp.